Good morning everyone, Sarah Hopkins here from Hibiscus Neuro Rehab. Thank you very much for tuning in to my live video this morning. Today I'm going to be talking all about walking sticks. In fact, I'm going to be talking about the top 3 mistakes people make when using a walking stick. So let's get into it. Hope you stick around till the end so I can give you all the goodies about this. So this is a good old, what we have, Cubro walking stick. It's a metal one and it's an adjustable walking stick. I like these, so you unscrew it at the bottom and you can slide along, and the pin there secures it. Got a nice soft foam handle and a good rubber foot on it, which is really important. So, that gives me another thing to think about when you're using your walking stick. So, one thing we want to think about, the setup, what people do when they're setting up their walking stick wrong. So you want to make sure, and if I bring this up to the camera, you can see this has got nice grooves on it. Using a walking stick that don't have these nice grooves means it's less likely to slip. If you've got the rubber worn down, you're more at risk of slipping, so it's unsafe to use it like that. The setup is also that you want to be making sure that it's not too high. I've pulled this one up quite high, and as you can see, if I stand up, it's right up here. Ideally, when we measure our walking stick, we're measuring it to the crease of the wrist. So you can see for me, I need to pull that down. I just adjust it. And now, if I just adjust this for you, down there it's got a nice support on it. So the thing I would say is that the mistake people make is they often have their walking sticks too high, especially if they've got a beautiful wooden walking stick or one that's not adjustable. They don't cut it down to make it the right height. Having it the right height means you can use it effectively for your balance. Number 2 is not using it, which may seem quite counterintuitive. If your balance isn't great, people often don't want to use their stick, so they put themselves more at risk of falls. Point 3, and I'm going to give you a bonus one if you stick around as well. Point 3 is that people either put not enough or too much pressure through their walking stick. So the walking stick really should just be that third point of contact for balance on the ground. So it's just a light touch when they're walking, so that they can be stepping through with their feet. So putting it nice and flat on the ground, and then be able to take some nice steady steps. If you find yourself really leaning on that walking stick, then it's probably not giving you enough support, and you may need to look at some other form of mobility aid. Not putting enough pressure on it, so if you're just kind of dragging it on the ground, that can be okay if your balance isn't good. But if your balance isn't great and you do need to use it for balance, making sure that you are putting a little bit of pressure through that walking stick. So point number 3. Now, this isn't per se to do with the walking stick, but it's the fact that if you're finding your balance is reduced and you are having to use a walking stick, that you are then not going and getting your mobility sorted. Why is it that you need to be using a walking aid? Is there something that you can be doing to improve your mobility and your balance? So whether that be exercises or managing your foot pain or your knee pain, whatever it is that may be causing you to use the walking stick, have you got it addressed? And if so, it might be completely right that you're using a walking stick, but if you're not addressing it, then is it something that you can do to maintain your independence? Because we know when we start that on that slippery slope downhill with our mobility, our increased risk of falls, that can be loss of independence. And often when people are using this, they then start to not want to mobilize as much, so that then they become more sedentary, and then you have more loss of muscle mass, more loss of balance because you're doing less. I'm not saying don't use a walking stick. I think it is so important that people get out there and are independent with their walking and mobility. And a walking aid can facilitate that independence. But what I'm saying is, if you're just relying on this because your balance isn't too good, there may be exercises that you can do out there to help with your strength and mobility and your balance to get yourself better. So A, you use your stick more effectively, or that you get better so you don't need to use the stick. Because from my point of view, if we can get as many people independent as possible, that's a win. Okay, so there are some tips for your walking stick. Make sure that you've got good grip on the end, that it's set up at the right height for you. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to your local physiotherapist. They can help set it up. Make sure you're using it properly. Make sure you're using the right mobility aid. So if you're putting too much pressure on that stick, it might be time to look at something else. And again, reaching out to a mobility professional who can help with that. And then thirdly, what is it that is causing you to use the walking stick, and what could you potentially be doing about it? I'd love to know why you started using your stick, or how helpful you find your stick is to help you with your independence. Send me a message or pop it in the comments below, or you can always email me, sarah@hibiscusneurorehab.co.nz. And one more bonus, you can also get what we call a unifoot to go onto the bottom of your stick, which I don't have here today, but then it helps stand the stick up, so it becomes not a pain when it's falling over all the time. Okay guys, you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you later.